Now in its 7th year, the Frieze Art Fair has established itself as one of the most important art fairs on the calendar and is a must-see for artists, galleries and collectors. Over 4 days, more than 60,000 people pass through the massive temporary structure in Regent's Park. With 164 exhibitors and works from all corners of the globe, this year's Frieze was definitely the place to see the best and most exciting works of contemporary art.
Frieze Art Fair is, imagine, one of the 2 or 3 leading contemporary international art fairs in the world. Lots of people, tens of thousands, come through every day to see the most interesting work in contemporary art that's made today. This year we had a new innovation, which was to introduce a section for emerging galleries and emerging artists. We created a whole area in the fair just for this particular project called Frame, and I think it's been one of the great successes of this year's fair.
Collectors and institutions flocked to this year's fair to purchase works from both new and established artists. In particular, the Tate, in concert with the Outset Fund, added to their sizable modern art collection with 7 pieces by emerging artists.
Tate and Outset have been working together really since the Frieze Fair began, and Outset have very generously established a fund for us to acquire work from the fair. I work at the museum very closely on the collection, and particularly with emerging artists, which is what we've focused on really at the fair.
The week of the fair, the Tate announced the works they had purchased with the money given by the Outset Frieze Art Fair Fund, a collection of individual and corporate supporters of the arts who over the last 7 years have donated more than £775,000. The works were chosen by 2 international curators in conjunction with the Tate for both their promise and how they fit into the museum's collection.
We had the benefit of working with Joanna Mitkowska from the Warsaw Museum of Modern Art and Hu Han Ru from the San Francisco Art Institute, and I think their international voices lent an amazing and invaluable knowledge base to our acquisitions. I think we've got artists ranging from Poland to Croatia to Lebanon to my own native Canada.
One of the pieces bought by the Tate is this intriguing piece entitled Neither Here Nor There by Gareth Moore, showing at Frame, the new section for galleries under 6 years old.
It's a collection of 35 chairs that the artist has collected over a time frame of 6 months, mostly in Berlin, and he started making them into flags. And so for each piece he uses the original chair and nothing else. That the Tate buys this is of course a great honor for us, especially as we are here for the first time, and the artist is of course still a young artist.
Another Frame favourite was the Andreana Mihel Gallery from Romania, who brought the piece Stop Trading with Our Future by 2 Bucharest artists. And it's not just the emerging artists that were getting people excited. Established galleries were glad to see that long-time and serious collectors were back and snapping up works.
It's been an excellent fair, lots of positivity, very good energy from people. I think all the big international collectors have returned.
After last year's disappointing show in the wake of the Lehman Brothers failure and the collapse of the financial markets, the mood is more upbeat. But galleries are not taking any chances, showing many well-established and reliably selling artists such as Grayson Perry, who wowed with his Walthamstow tapestry, Anish Kapoor, John Baldessari, who showed his Beethoven's trumpet with ear, and this stark aluminium tree from Ugo Rondinone, called A Day Like This Made of Nothing and Nothing Else. Galleries were also offering a wide range of works to fit every wallet. One project embraced this idea and recreated masterworks from the fair at prices that almost anyone could afford.
My project for the Frieze Art Fair is called Copy Stand, an autonomous manufacturing zone, and it consists of a production space and a gallery space. And within the production space, a team of young artists are hand-making works of art that we find within the Frieze Art Fair. And so essentially we're kind of creating copies of them or cheap knockoffs and then selling them at drastically reduced rates in our gallery space. One of our artists, Claudia Jabari, has decided to recreate in miniature a lot of the large sculptural objects found within the fair. So one object that she chose is a kind of mushroom-looking phallic symbol by the artist Tal R. And but her particular one is very tiny, and they are in editions though, so she's made several of them, and they're made out of self-hardening clay. Those are 100 pounds each.
On top of all of this year's Frieze was also home to Club Nuts, a concept nightclub from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and surely one of the smallest in the world at 4x4 metres. There was also a pop-up restaurant from celebrity chef Mark Hicks to feed the hungry crowds passing through the event.
I think 2009 in London, at this time of year surrounding Frieze, there's a lot of activity. There's a really great programme, and I think that's brought a lot of people also into London.
It has a great feeling at the fair this year. All I know is that galleries are happy. They brought very, very high quality work. Did very careful presentations, worked very hard. Really good collectors came. They sold out.
Frieze is an amazing project, and it's one of the most exciting, one of the most challenging art fair, not only with the art fair itself, but with all the programs you have around. There is not a minute within these few days that there is nothing happen, and it makes, again, London swinging.